Okay, now this video has been requested a number of times. Probably 30 times the last 3 years, maybe 10 times a year or whatever. Um, yeah, it's been requested. This is the first long form video I'm shooting since I shut down the channel 10 days ago. Because I didn't see it shut down. I saw some shorts. I said, well, yeah, at first I wasn't going to do any shorts. I was just going to let the shorts that were coming out as clips. The clip shorts are shorts that are pieces of the large form video. The large video, and then it'll take pieces and make different clips of areas that the YouTube and the different companies thinks are good information to have out, or relevant or funny or whatever, and they break it down on the algorithm watches it and then breaks it down on different little sections. So hopefully those were okay. I did some videos of cats. There's one right here, in fact. Whoop. This is Jade. He just has his flea medicine on, and here comes his sister, and she just had her flea medicine. So I may have to go and lock these guys out. They want to help me with everything. She's a long-haired, so it's very hard to get the flea medicine onto their skin. You gotta kind of and blow the hair away, and like for me, it'd be no problem just throw in the air and it'd have been fine. But with them, it's a little different story. So they're both being really rambunctious because it's going to rain, and it's only the second time in their lives they've experienced any kind of rain. They're indoor cats. They just saw it outside. And it was a very, very short rain last time. I think it was in February. Was it February, guys? Is it that long ago? No, it was not. I don't know. But it rained for one night, and here it's supposed to rain for like 5 nights. So hopefully they'll get a chance. I can sit with them, and we can watch some rain. So that's what's going on here. The first video back from the shadow ban. I'm not really on the schedule anymore that I had, because I shut it down for basically 2 weeks, 10 days. So I will get back on that schedule, which will be, I will film on Sunday for one video comes on Monday. Then on Monday we film, maybe 2 come out on Tuesday, 1 comes out on Thursday, and then 1 comes out on Saturday. I can't remember. But anyway, I have it written down here. So we'll go back and do the 5 videos a week. On Tuesday, 2 come out. Monday, 1, and the other 2 days, 1. So we'll get back on that schedule. But this video, a little more serious than some of the things I've put out. Not necessarily a bad thing anymore, and not necessarily a scary thing or a dark thing. But this video, as you can see by the title, I don't know exactly what I'll title it. People wanted to know what happened the night on the bridge. So it's not like whatever happened the night on the Tallahassee Bridge or any of those kind of things. The day he jumped off the bridge or whatever. But this is what happened. I'll kind of go from the beginning, and then I'll kind of try to wrap this all up. Now remember, I have no training for what happened. I've had experience in what happened by just when I was in the military, but nothing as drastic as what happened this one night. And it had a lot of those things that happened that if it didn't happen in a certain way, it may have been a different outcome. I was at the right place at the right time, but I shouldn't have been at that place at that time. It wasn't scheduled to be at that place at that time. It was, I guess, a circumstance that I end up there. So a lot of people say, oh no, an angel, blah, blah. I don't know. Something was definitely different. Okay, I worked for a company, and I would, at the time, a major pizza location. They wanted me to get into management. I was thinking about it. I was doing like a kind of a crew leader thing. I was still the, like top driver, and they would want me to train on this and train on that and come up with some new plans on how to train our staff, because that's what I did in the military. I wrote lesson plans. I developed different courses of training. So I agreed to do that. So I was driving home, and this is before cell phones. So I was going to go home, straight home. I was tired, so sleepy. I wanted to just go home. Just let me go home. Let me get some sleep, please. Hey, everybody, quit playing the trumpet in the shower and singing, Blue Sky, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just let me sleep. All I wanted to do was sleep. I've been not feeling well. We'd had some rain, and kind of like the weather now. But I was just I was under the weather. Aren't we always under the weather? So someone asked me, can I go and pick something up at his house? Because him and his wife were going to be out of town. Can I pick something up at his wife's house and bring it to his son's school on Monday? So this is like a Friday night, and they were going to leave Saturday morning and not be back until like the next Wednesday. But this thing had to go to his school on Monday, and his kid was in the 2nd grade, and it was like a project he made in a box, and so he was afraid that maybe the kid would forget it. You know, we got the peanut butter sandwich, we got the baby carrots, but we forgot the science project or some kind of project. It was in a box. I don't know what it was. So I said, okay. And so I had to go a different route to go home, and I did. And as I'm driving by, my headlights caught the image of something amiss. It was on a bridge in Pasadena, California. There's no parking on this bridge. They do close it off once a year, and they have a big bridge concert. I can't remember what they call it, the celebration of the bridge or whatever. It's pretty fun. I used to manage a band, and they would play that festival, that fun time. But my lights hit it, and I go stand like kind of like this or something. And you know, sometimes they'll do construction, and they'll put tarps over like they'll pile up a bunch of like cement, and they'll put bags of cement. They'll put like a tarp over it so it doesn't get. It had been raining, but then that's weird, you know. But you don't have much time to think because I think on that bridge you can do 55. I can't remember. But it's right off the freeway. You're on the freeway, you get off the freeway, you go across that bridge, and then you go like into Pasadena. That's what I had done. So that, well, I had to park. And then I'm back. Somebody was talking very loudly after being told, hey, I'm going to go film. Let me sabotage you. But anyway, so you can't park on the bridge. So I thought, well, I'll whip a U-turn and drive back again. I got, no, if it's something dangerous or something, I better park and walk back. And it's a long bridge. So I did that. I parked on the street. I can tell you where it is. It's the Suicide Bridge. It's called the Colorado Bridge, but the nickname is Suicide Bridge. People have jumped off of there. Some people have survived, but most people have not. I know someone that when his Boy Scout troop was hiking, they came across someone that had, I guess, had jumped a few days earlier. And I'm sure that traumatized them. But anyway, so I come back, I park, and I start walking, and it's a person standing there, holding on like this, you know, kind of not like on the edge of the building, like there was room to go that way, and room to go that way off of the bridge, this way back onto the pavement, the sidewalk, but climbed over the smaller fence. The fence is always being changed. They're talking about putting, now they're saying maybe they'll put a catch on it, you know, like they do at the Apple things in China. The guys work and they just freak out because they've been working, you know, 9 days. They work like 16, 17 hours a day. Then they go 9 days straight. Then they get 2 days off, and then 9 days straight. So they just go nuts and run and jump out. And they catch them in the thing, and they just pick them up and bring them back in and put them back in their seat and make some more iPhones. Thank you, China, for doing that for us. Yeah, can you imagine? But anyway, so I walk up. What are you going to do? What do you say? Hi? Are you looking at something? It's dark. Now, if it was daytime, he had a camera. Still, where he was very precarious. Would you say? I don't know. Oh, they would probably pass some kind of a harness if you were going to be leaning over this bridge and filming down below. It's really pretty there. They had some old buildings there from before, like World War One, the big old VA buildings, and they closed them, and the homeless all moved in. And one lady, she bought one of the condos after they fixed them up, and she comes home, and there's a guy in her living room, and he said, "What are you doing in my house? I've seen you come in my house." He'd been in jail, so he didn't realize that they had taken back this building, and the unhoused were not going to be housed there. So anyway, I said to him, "Hey, man, how you doing?" That's smart, right? Obviously not well. He said, "No, I'm not. No, nothing. Just keep on going. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm just, yeah. Leave me alone. There's no talking. Listen, leave me alone." What do you say to that? There's no talking. Leave me alone. I knew not to get close enough. Where sometimes what will happen is if someone is going to jump off of a bridge, never get close enough for them to grab hold of you, because you may think that they're going to jump off and you're going to grab them by their belt and pull them back in with your left arm while you hold on with your right arm. No, what's happening is they're going to grab you and you both are going to tumble over. And that's not going to be good. That'll be two dead bodies down there. I said dead. I don't know if this may get kicked off of here if I say the word suicide or dead. You'll always see that they'll put like DE_D or unalive. This man was going to unalive himself. I guess that is true. You know, a gun is a pew pew, and a suicide is an unaliving of one's self. So I said, are you having some kind of an issue, episode? Are you okay? Are you gonna be okay? Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. You know, it sounds like a stupid question, but if you're not trained, what do? I don't have a cell phone. I can't call 911. They do have some boxes there. If you're planning on, if you feel like killing yourself, please pick up this phone and call suicide prevention. But he's here. The box is here and here. You know, here and an eighth of a mile by that time. So I said, hey, I think maybe you should come back over here. Let's talk. Maybe we can talk for a minute. No, I don't want to talk. I don't have nothing to say. And I said, oh, okay. Well, you know what? I've gone through some stuff, and I know our people always say, oh, I know exactly how you feel. And in reality, they have no idea how we feel. We might both pet we might both pet a kitten, and we say we like a kitten. We both might eat ice cream. We say, oh, we like ice cream. We know how it feels to pet a kitten or eat the ice cream, but we don't know how it feels inside. And I think I did say, like in our coconut. Jade, get down. But I go, but I've gone through some stuff that made me pretty sad too. Are you really sad, depressed? Is there something you need? Maybe we can call somebody. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I told him, I don't know what to do. If I can help you, can you please tell me what I can do to help you? People always say, if there's anything I can do, let me know. No, change that to tell me what I can do. That's a different way to say it. What do you mean tell me what you do? He just jumped. But so I said, you know, what can you just maybe tell me what led to what's going on tonight? Maybe. I don't know. If you want to. I'm not. I told him I ain't leaving. You know, I'm not. He told me, oh, you just get out of here. Just leave it. I'm not leaving. He said, why aren't you leaving? I said, well, because you may want to do something you shouldn't do. We all do things. We always do things like, man, if only I hadn't done blank. And this is a big one of those. If I only didn't do blank, this is a big thing. You know, you don't get a second chance on this kind of thing, usually. And he said, well, yeah. And then we just sat there. We didn't talk for. I know this felt like there'd been 30 minutes. It'd probably been 3. And so I said, I really drink bottled water. I drink bottled water. But he said, we sat there for a while. He said, what made you sad? I said, well, I got a divorce. Going through a divorce, finished divorce. Really sad. My son was only 2 years old at that time. And he took my hand, he took my wife's hand and held him. I looked up and said, don't you guys love each other's anymore? Don't you love each other's anymore? He was 2 years old. Obviously, kids know. Yeah, and so try not to cry on that one when they do that. They'd say that to you. Very sad. Very sad. People say, well, that's just one example. That's long term. That's an ongoing thing. And I said, how about you? Are you going through something like that, a divorce? And he said, maybe. I don't really know right now. I just can't do anything right, or I can't do anything. And it almost felt like It's a Wonderful Life, right? He can't take care of his family. So I said, I've never been on the edge of a bridge. I never had a handful of pills or a pistol, or you never thought about driving into oncoming traffic or sitting down in front of a train. I've never thought to go like that, to go that far. But I always kind of thought the problems I'm having now, will I have more problems next week? Less problems next week? Different problems next week? The same problems in a year from now? What if something great happens and I'm not there? What if I'm not there to enjoy that? Because this is kind of like the final thing. This is like, how much thinking do people say, oh, you better sleep on it, or you better give it some more thought. Well, how much thought do you give before you jump off of a bridge? What's the right number of days? Oh, I thought about it for 15 days, and then I jumped. No. And I said, so what led you to this. And he said, well, my kids, I can't, my daughter's getting married. I think his daughter's getting married, and his son was going to a public college, and he got accepted into a private university on a partial scholarship. Well, where's the other part going to come from? And he said, I just don't have the money for this, and my wife is, this and that, and I can't provide. And I go, well, okay, well, let's just look at the practicality of that. If you were to commit suicide, and you had, let's say you had an insurance policy. Let's say you have an insurance policy. I didn't know what to say. Once again, I'm telling you, I did not know what to say. Maybe you have an insurance policy that doesn't have a suicide clause or whatever, and they do pay off some money. You think, wow, now my son is going to get some money. My daughter has money. Why? But for how many years? You look like a relatively young man. How old are you? I think it was 45, maybe 50. I don't know. You had a number of years left, and that's a lot of work, and we got to work. I mean, if you're 50 years old here in the United States, in California, you probably got to work till you're 64 or 70. You probably got maybe close to 20 more years of income that they're not going to have. They're not going to have that income. They're not going to have the dad there. They're not going to have their dad. Think about that. You're never going to ask your daughter, is this how you do the Watusi? Hey son, let's go and get a burger and tell me about your school. No. And all their friends are talking to them about their dads and their moms and their families, and then they say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're no longer with us." Yeah. So I think I don't want to be insulting or anything, but my views on suicide is it's pretty selfish of us. The one that takes the jump, the overdose, takes the shot to the head, whatever. I think it's a little bit selfish. Not to be mean, please don't. I mean, who cares what I think, right? I kept telling them, who cares what I think? But that's how I thought. Kind of like my channel. This is what I did. But I always kind of thought, I'm gone. I'm gone. I have no more problems. My problems the problems on earth are no longer there with me. Those are no longer my problems. They're my family's problems. Is my daughter going to cry? When's the last time you see her cry like a little baby that got stung by a bee or something? Just hysterical crying until she can't cry anymore because there's nothing left in her tear ducts, and it's going to affect her for the rest of her life. She's getting married. Are you going to meet her grandkids? Are you going to meet your grandkids? Is he going to go off to college and maybe get married himself? Maybe she gets married and he gets married. Maybe she goes back to school. All that stuff. What if he drops out of school? What if she decides not to get married? She's just too depressed. The husband says, the fiance, you're always just so depressed. It affects everything. And what's the big deal here? He says, it was mostly financial. I said, well, how old are your kids? And I think she was 26. Like I said, I think she was 26 and he was like 21. I said, in California, in the United States, basically, they only got to 18. Yeah, you decide to plop a baby out, you got to take care of that baby till it's 18. Everything else is a bonus. You're in bonus time. So maybe your son would have to say, I want to go to school 12 months out of the year, but I can only go the fall semester and the summer semester, or whatever, the spring, fall and spring, and I'll have to work during the summer. Oh my God, you have to work? I bet you can, I bet you can. And maybe your daughter, maybe that dress that she wants, maybe she got the hopping mom's old dress, something, I don't know. But there's a lot of expense out there that we're not responsible for. You are about to kill yourself, you're saying, because you can't meet your responsibilities. Those are not your responsibilities. You're not legally obligated. That's a bonus. You're giving them a bonus. And if they have a problem with that, if they have the choice to go with that university or have that nice big wedding or have their dad, I never met them before. Never met them. You'll have to answer that yourself. What do you think they would, if you call them up on the phone right now and tell them where you are and say, I'm going to do this because I can't give you everything that you want? Are they really that way? I think material girls, are they material girls? Is that really where we are now? You have to give them Susie got a new Camaro and I need a new Camaro, Oh, why don't we have a boat? Why can't I go? Why can't you pay for me to go to Hawaii? My friends are all going to Hawaii. Why can't we pay for me to go to Hawaii? Well, maybe you better get up and start working. You know, you got the Hawaii trip coming up. You got 8 months or whatever. We don't go to school 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's homework. Ooh, there sure is. There sure is. When I went to school, what I would like to do is take a class, have an hour or two off, take the next class, have an hour. That way I can hit the library right after while it's fresh in the old noggin, and I can study it. But what if I have to work? What if I can only go to school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because Tuesday and Thursday I got to work 8 hours a day? You're going to commit suicide because you can't meet your responsibilities that you don't even have legally, morally. Those are not your responsibilities. And it's forever, man. It's forever. It's forever. It's always, but you don't understand. You're right. You're right. You're preaching to the choir, man. Keep on preaching. You're right. I don't understand. I'm not in your situation. I've never walked a mile in your moccasins or your shoes or whatever. I don't know. But look at you. You look like a nice man. You're so concerned about your responsibilities that it's gone to the point where it's hurt your soul that you're going to jump off of a bridge in the middle of the night. Then your kids are probably okay. I bet you did a good job raising them. Yeah. I bet if your son has to go to, God forbid, Cal State Los Angeles or, or Cal State Fullerton or something, he'll be okay. If he's trying to get a master's degree, he's not even finished with his bachelor's yet, and we're going to end it all because of his next thing, his next endeavor, his next adventure. Maybe he needs to join the military. Yeah, I was in the military. If he wants to go to school, we have a thing called bootstrap program in the Air Force where you don't even have to you just go to school versus going to the military base. And it's called bootstrap. And you get to go, I think it's for every year that you go to the university, you have to do 2 years. So if he's got 3 years left of his education, let's say, he would sign up a 6-year enlistment. He would do his 3 years, maybe become an officer. Well, it's an enlistment, but 6-year commitment. There's many options. And I told him, look, man, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb person. I'm uneducated. I'm not smart. I don't have a degree in psychology or social work or psychiatry. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have any mental health background. I just know about life. Yeah, I've been in the military a lot. I've seen people that said they were going to do, they have a Dear John letter and they're going to now kill themselves. Well, that's for attention. This seems to be a little bit more because you're out here by yourself. If I hadn't driven by, maybe you'd already jumped. Maybe, God forbid, you still will. Maybe you'll come down today and next week I read Mr. So-and-so. It didn't work out. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not you. I don't even know you. But why are you here today? What brought you here today? Kind of like when you buy that used car. What do I have to do to get you to come home in that car? So what do I have to do to get you to come off this bridge with me? And we'll walk off this bridge. Screw this bridge. You know this bridge's name, right? Yeah, I know. It's not called Suicide Bridge because it's funny. Clever. It's not even that clever, is it really? People who commit suicide on this bridge, so we'll call it the Suicide Bridge. That's the kind of stuff we were talking about, just like that. And so I don't know. I don't know why you shouldn't do this. I don't know why you shouldn't do this, but I know why you. No, I don't know why you. What is it? I don't know everything about what you should do, but I know what you shouldn't do, and that would be to end this. It's not like it's a one-time deal. I can never do it again. Well, if I don't do this tonight, I'll never be able to do it again. If Van Halen will be, if David Lee Roth has a sore throat, and they said, David, come here, sing this song. It's my one-time chance to get up there and sing, jump. You might as well not jump, I can't remember what I think and then, beautiful girls, and that's my one-time chance. I got one chance to grab that mic and sing a song. At the Great American Forum, I think it was called the Fabulous Forum, then the Fabulous Forum, or something. That's it. But this right here, no, it's stupid. You're not stupid. You're smart, I can tell. But doing this is stupid. You're not stupid. So don't do something stupid, right? And he says, "Well, more silence." So I just don't know. Is he just going to? I don't know. Right in front of my eyes, it's going to screw me up. But I figured I have to try. Try and fail, try and succeed. At least I tried. Nowadays, I'd probably do the 911 as I'm walking. There's a guy right here, and he thinks he might come off the bridge. But like, well, hey, fella, how you doing? But back then, no, no, it was that. And then we talked. We sat there for a while. And he goes, "You know what? I don't know. You're right. It's stupid, isn't it?" That's the first thing he said. Stupid. Yeah, but you're not. And I said, I'm sure you got people waiting for you at home. Some people don't have that. You're worried about not being able to meet your responsibilities to your children. Some people don't have kids. Some people, and you see some people, you think it sounds bad, but you almost think, God, if I was them, I don't know how I could survive this. You see some of the things that these people have to put up with. You and I, we ain't got that. We ain't got everything we want. I think we got everything we need, and we can work for some of those things we want. In your case, it's very honorable. Waiting for your daughter, education for your son. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I don't know how you climb over this thing or how you back up. Why don't you back up and let's get out of here? And he goes, just like that. I said, well, yeah. How long are we going to do this? It's time to go home. Time to go home. Let's go. Turned around. Stood next to me. Far enough away from the edge. Put his hand out. It was like he said, grab my hand and go, whee! So he grabbed my hand, he shook my head, then he hugged me like this. Like a man hug, and then he hugged me like a collapsing, like ragdoll. Kind of fell. So he started crying. And I think I did too. And then I said to him, you know what? It's a little bit late, but I could use a coffee. Before you go home, you might want to, big boys do cry, and you can tell them you cried, and you can tell them you were here, or you don't even have to tell them. You don't even have to tell them you were here. If you don't want to, it's all up to you. This is all 100. This is your deal today. If I was you, I'd probably call somebody and get some help. Make you feel better. It'd keep you from doing stupid things. And he laughed, and I laughed, and we went to Winchell's. And guess what I had? I had a couple donuts. Yeah, a couple donuts. I think 14. 14. Yeah, I don't know. I yump some donuts, and my hands were kind of shaking. And afterwards, I was kind of like, I took a breath. But that was my night on the bridge. And meow to you too. And he and she are both still here today. The way I know the reason I know he's there is because I had put out a thing about the glitch, and someone else had a glitch on their channel. And they kept looking at my thing. I kept looking at this guy, looking at this guy, looking at this guy, looking at this guy. And I thought, that's the guy my dad sent me photos of. It just showed me photos of. It's his daughter. He's alive. She's alive. Did they get married? Are they still married? Do they have kids? Did the boy go off to college? Did David Lee Roth have a sore throat? And I don't know. I know the last one, no. But I don't know all the story. All I know is he's still here. He's a little older than I am, so watch your health. But she found me only because she was searching, how to. She has a channel. She has a channel. I'm not gonna say her channel, like to any names. Meow. I think if you had a kitten like this to hold, make it feel a lot better. What do you think? Hold a kitten? Yeah. You think so? She says yes. Yeah, he put her back. He's now trying to sleep, and she's coming to see me. But that's the story. That's the story. I tried to convince him. I didn't know what to do. I got to the point where I just said, I got to tell this guy this is stupid. Don't do it. Nicely. I knew that. All I really knew is there's a guy on a bridge. Now there's two guys on a bridge. One is close to the edge. This guy ain't getting close to the edge. No, he ain't gonna take me with him. No. So that's what happened. Did I do it right? I guess I got the outcome I was hoping for. Like I said, I tried and I could fail, and I tried and I could succeed, and I hope I'm somewhere in the middle there, because it's not all up to me. It's not up to me. He made the decision to come down, and I believe that that God was telling him, "Hey man, it ain't your time. Don't be stupid." So I was saying words, and I wasn't saying that God was speaking through me, kind of thing. But I was just saying, hey, I didn't know what to do. Since then, I've had some more training. I was still in the military reserves, and I did get some more training on that kind of thing. I did I've learned, I do I learned some hostage negotiation, some intervention, that kind of stuff, drugs, alcohol, all the stuff we're not allowed to do in the military, abusing alcohol, taking illegal drugs. But yeah, that's my story. So people asked me to put it out there. Here it is. Have a good night. I hope this wasn't too gloomy or sad. It had a good ending to it. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to title this. I'll see. Maybe the AI will help me title this. Like, don't try suicide from the song from Queen. But yeah, people say, "Oh, you're a hero." No, obviously, I am not a hero, or in my opinion, I am not a hero. He made the decision, turn around, and go home. Yeah, he made that decision. So, everybody have a great day. Don't forget, please subscribe, like, share, comments down below. Have you ever been in a situation similar to this? Yeah, a lot of you, I bet you have. I bet you have. Especially if you're very overweight, you might have other friends that are very overweight, and then with that comes a lot of depression. So does this guy suffer from permanent long-form depression? Is he a manic depressant? What are the key words for him? I don't know. Maybe he's always very happy. And there's people that say, I can't believe he did it. He was always so happy. Or it could be like, oh my God, it was only a matter of time. So I don't know his background. I don't know his backstory. I never talked to him after that night. And to this day, still haven't. Do I want to? No. No. Like I said, he has to make that decision. Turn around and don't do something stupid. And I think he did it with or without my advice. I think he knew that's what he should have done. Take care.